back. In the previous video, you have learned what is a return statement or a return value. It will return a value and it will exit the method. So, and it will exit the method where the control will move back to the main method, right? And here return is a jump statement. Along with return, we have other two jump statement, that is break and continue. So, in this video, we will be seeing what exactly is break and continue. Now imagine a hospital management system where all the patient records should be stored physically or via the hospital server. Now if I want to check a patient record named ABC, I'm just giving this for example. So what I'll do, I'll keep on searching all the records until I find the patient named ABC, right? With this patient ID, right? So I will keep on finding, so I will keep on searching for a patient named ABC with the patient ID, whatever has been provided to him whatever has been provided to the patient. So I'll keep on searching and I will find his details, and finally I'll find a file which will contain his details. So what I'll do after finding this file? So will I keep again searching? No, I'll just come out of it and I will hand over the same details to a doctor, right? So this is break, which means as soon as a particular record is found, I'll just keep on iterating, I'll keep on looping until the search is found or until the condition is matched or whatever the case is. So after that, I won't check any of the patient records, right? So this is about break statement. Similarly, continue statement, by the name itself we can tell whenever a teacher is taking a attendance. Take an example like if a class strength is 30 students, if in attendance book, if student 5 is absent, then will teacher skip that? Then will teacher close the book and finish attendance? No. They will take the attendance till 1 to 4. If student 5 is absent, they will mark it as absent and again they will move on to student 6 to student 30th. That is, the loop is continuing even after the particular student is absent, right? The teacher is continuing to take the attendance even after student is absent until all the students have been marked as present or absent. Till then, the teacher would be doing her job. Till then, the teacher would be looking at all the students' name, right, in the attendance sheet. So that is about continue. Hope you got the difference between break and continue. Break would come out of the loop immediately as soon as the search is found. Continue will keep on iterating through every element even though the search is found or search is not found. Now let us see how exactly this works using the program. Now here if you see, I starts with 2 where 2 less than or equal to 10, right? So I can easily tell that how many iterations will happen here, because I is starting with 2 and the condition is I less than or equal to 10 and total number of iterations are 8. Clear? 8 iterations will happen. When I is 2, I is not equal to 5, so the condition is false, and since this condition is false, the loop will directly come to print the statement, right? The loop will come outside to print a statement, and where it will print me the value of I. And what is the value of I? The value of I is 2, right? Similarly, the iteration continues till 3, 4. Now, when the value of I is 5, what happens when I value is 5? So, when the value of I is 5, it will execute break statement. So, when the break statement is because 5 is equal to 5, this is your comparison operator. Don't get confused between comparison and assignment operator. I equal to 2, this is your assignment operator and this is your comparison operator. right? So when I is equal to 5, the value of I is also 5. So the condition is true. It will execute the break. So once when it will execute the break, the control will come out of the loop itself. The loop will start from here and it is ending here. Just notice the braces. So it will directly come and it will print the loop has been ended, right? So it will print as the loop has been ended. So the iteration got stopped when the value of I is 5. What about the remaining value after that? What about 6 to 10? They are not getting executed. The iteration doesn't run through them because it will break the loop when it matches the condition. It will break the loop. So here the condition is true and it will come out of this loop and finally it will print as sorry, like here it is 4, right? Yeah. Sorry, like here it is 4, not 1. Yeah. Here it is 2, 3, 4. Clear? And it will print as loop ended. So this is about break. Now let us see in the editor. Here if you see I starts with 2, right? So in the console we can see the iteration from 2 to 4. But when I matches for 5, then it will come out of the loop. So this is the ending of for loop. It will come out of the loop and it will print as loop ended. Let us see how it is. Yes, here in the console if you see the first 3 iterations for when I is 2, 3 and 4 it has run. But when the condition got evaluated here, when I is 5, break statement got executed and the loop has come out of the for loop. The control came out of the for loop and it has printed as loop ended, right? This is break statement. Now let us see what exactly is continuous statement with the same program. Here I'll just make a small change here. Instead of break, I'll use continue keyword. Now what will happen when I use continue keyword? So again the iteration begins from I equals to 2, right? There would be 8 iterations where it will begin from I equal to 2. So when I is 2, the condition is false. So it will directly come to print the statement. So when I is 2, it will print as 2, 3, 4, right? Now when I is 5, continue statement would get executed. Continue means it will go back to the iteration. So when I is 5, it will go back to this increment operator, that is I plus plus, and it does not execute this statement. It is not coming out of this for loop and it does not execute this. When I is 5, since the condition is true, it will execute jump statement. So as soon as the control sees continue, it will come back to the increment operator. Now the value of I becomes 6, right? And the statement after continue, what are the statement is there after continue, that won't get executed within the loop. Don't get confused. When control sees the continue statement, the statements after continue within the loop does not execute, right? Now the value of I is 6. Now the iteration as it is continues. Now the iteration continues as it is. When I is 6, 6 is equal to 5, the condition is false. So the next value would print me as 6. Now the iteration will run till 10. 2, 3, here it is 4th iteration. Yeah. So when I is 7, the condition is false. So it will print me the value of I. Next when 8, I is 8, 9 and 10. Now I is 10, right? When I gets incremented to 11, the condition is false. Since condition is false, it will directly print as loop ended. Finally, at the last iteration, when the condition becomes false in the main loop itself, it will print me as loop ended. So this is the difference between break and continue statement. So here if you see, this is the output for break statement and this is for continue statement. Here As soon as the condition becomes false, the break statement get executes and it will come out of the loop itself. But here, when it encounters with the condition, it doesn't, it will skip the block of statement to be executed, right? When I is 5, it will skip the block of statement to be executed within the loop, and the loop begins with the incremented value, right? Where you can see the incremented value are 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and finally when the condition is false or when the loop iteration finishes, it will print the statement after the loop, right? Now let us see this in the editor. So here I'll be changing from break to continue statement. Now let us run it. So here if you see till 2, 3, 4, the execution happened smoothly. When I is 5, since the condition is true, it will skip to execute this block of statement since this is lying within for loop. Within for loop, I have system.out.println which will print the value of I. So it will skip this statement and it will increment the value of I to the next value, right? So when I is 7, again the iteration begins from 7 to 10. And when this iteration completes, it will print statement after for loop. That is loop ended, right? So this is about break and continue jump statement. Not to get confused like whenever you are using break and continue. Hope so this is clear. So please share this with your friends because most of the students get confused initially like whenever they are trying to solve. So in the upcoming video we will begin with arrays. Thank you.